I can do any freaking thing I want. That's what I want to know.
Oh, okay.
Why are you doing this? Oh, hi there. This episode is a Q&A. I've got a whole bunch of questions, like kind of a lot, and I'm kind of long-winded. And so, should we just get right into it? What's going on? A lot is going on, and I haven't had time to make a lot of videos. I've been doing a few shoots. I even filmed a couple. I don't know if they're going to be videos. My heart hasn't been in it. I've been focused on other stuff. Let's not go into that. It's not bad. It's good. It's good stuff. It's just that, you know what? I'm kind of ruining this by talking too much. I told myself not to do this. I told myself not to do this, and I'm freaking doing it. Okay, question number 1. Had a good stern talking to myself. Didn't listen to a word of it. Here we go. Okay. I'll try not to take too much time on these. Wrote them all down in large print. Okay, let's get into this. Large print size. Malamadre M. You actually didn't talk so much about the M11. How do you feel, and etc. Yeah, you know, you're right. I mean, I've used the thing in maybe half a dozen videos or something. I haven't talked about it too much. Will I? Where is my M11? It's right here. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Hey, look. Look. Come on, focus. Autofocus. Autofocus, you silly. Ho! Got a new lens the other day. Have used it only twice. Really excited about it. Really want to use it more. Just been kind of busy. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the M11. I just always wanted a digital rangefinder. Always wanted one, and I've been using it now for about 4 months. I think when I hit the 6-month mark and when I feel like I've done quite a bit, I've shot thousands of photos with it. We'll do a couple in-depth videos on it and what I think and stuff. So we'll get into that. Leslie Maroney, have you ever dabbled in astrophotography? Yes, I have, Leslie. There's even like one of my very first YouTube videos is me going out at night with Q2 and shooting some stars and stuff. Bing! Trevor Bailey. Can you tell us about the most nerve-wracking and scariest experience you've documented? In one of your episodes, you mentioned a gnarly situation, but you also said that, I should have proofread this. I think, Trevor, you didn't phrase this question the way you intended to. So let's try and make sense of it, Trevor. Thank you for your question, bro. Appreciate you. In one of your episodes, you mentioned a gnarly situation, but you also mentioned it wasn't even close to your top scariest experience. Okay. So I mentioned something gnarly, said it was gnarly, but it wasn't the most gnarly thing. What's the most nerve-wracking and scariest experience you've documented? So that means I would have been documenting, because I've had some stuff that was pretty gnarly that probably wasn't documented very well or professionally. Okay, so this is in my mind because someone messaged me on social media the other day saying, dude, I saw you on Dateline. Yes, I was on Dateline about 10 years ago for an incident that happened about 11 years ago. And someone just pirated that episode and put it on the internet, and I'm going to link it down below. And I was on a job, I was working, and well, they spell it out in the episode, so you should watch it. It's some of the gnarliest shit I've ever seen. And was I scared at some points? Yes, I was. Was I thinking the bullets are going to start flying and I need to find a place that I can make myself as small as possible? Yes, I was thinking those things. Thankfully, no bullets came my direction, but I saw the aftermath of some bullets. And I watched a young man die. And it was scary and it was horrible. And yes, it still haunts my dreams. That Dateline episode is linked below. It's unofficial, so they sort of effed with the size and stuff so that it wouldn't get kicked off YouTube, I guess. I'm not sure how this stuff works. I don't do that. I don't pirate episodes, so I guess that's what they were doing. It's also available. Someone else had messaged me like last year, and I think I mentioned this on the podcast, or I mentioned the podcast on the channel. That whole episode is turned into audio form and it's available on a Dateline podcast. So just search Dateline. The episode's called, I think, Miles from Nowhere, because this happened miles from nowhere. I've said enough. The YouTube video's down below, pirated version of the Dateline interview. Maybe I'll talk about this more at some point. There's a lot more to the story than you're going to find, especially my side of the story, in that little Dateline episode. But Trevor, thanks for the question. That's one of the gnarliest things I've ever experienced. Have there been other and more gnarly things? I think so. I'd have to think about it, man. My bar is just different, you know. I could go on a tangent here. I was talking about this with a friend recently. It's just my bar is different. I think about things differently. I work around, sometimes you're around people and some crazy shit will happen and I'm just like, okay, the bar is different. That was up there though. Okay, Trevor Bailey. Trevor has another question. Homeboy thinks that he's cool enough to ask 2 questions. Should we allow this? Okay, yeah, the boss said we can. That's me. Howdy, Ben. How do you shoot your POV videos? What camera and mounts are you using BTS when shooting in the tropics, for example? My POV videos, you mean like my FPV videos, which I call first person video, as in, or FPS, first person shooter. Had this idea when I don't really play video games, but you know, like first person shooter video game where you get the rifles like sticking out the bottom and you're like going through doorways and stuff, and like Doom, like old school. Pretty cool. And excuse me, had some trail mix before I started this, so I would have energy and be strong. But so I had that idea early on doing the YouTube channel, and I thought, oh man, I kind of want to duplicate that with some cool like video game type music and do the kind of video game treatment to a photo shoot. And so I kind of came up with this, and I've done it with my M6. I've done it with the M11, but I like to do it with the Q2. And this is what I do. Well, let's see if I can get this dang thing to focus not on my face. Well, I'll just get back here so it's kind of the same depth of field. But I have this little arm, and you know, I can adjust the arm and where I want, and I have a GoPro up here. And I typically put the GoPro in, I take the fisheye kind of off and I use it where it's not fisheyed, so it looks more standard. Can't remember what that's called right now. I don't know why that's escaping me, but I do that. And then I kind of stick it out here on the side, kind of looking this way. So it's kind of seeing what I'm seeing when I'm looking through here, and it's kind of right behind my ear. Maybe stick it off here a little bit, aim it forward, boom. And then when I'm shooting, it's like this. And then a lot of times people will go, if you've seen in my first person shooter videos, like the one I did at the music festival, people are like, are you doing video and stills? Why, yes, sir. Yes, I am. It's kind of cool. So I'm here, and look, like everywhere I look, it just gets doing. It's always the same shot on the camera. These things are stabilized, so it looks pretty good. I can also hold it like this and kind of carry it around, and I'll put straps on, have it around my neck, whatever. That's how I do it. Yeah, good question, Trevor Bailey. Sir, Mr. Bailey, sir. Great question. You guys like those? I need to ask questions here too. Do you guys like the first person shooter videos? They're kind of easy to do in that I don't have to do a lot of editing. Why did I say that? Actually, they take a lot of editing because I cut a lot out, especially if I'm walking the streets or walking around. But they're still kind of fun and easy. It's not like I gotta like juxtapose images and things. It's kind of like all the same shot. And I just cut out the blank stuff, figure out where the pictures go in. I can edit those fairly quickly. Anyways, do you like them? Do you like my first person shooter videos? I've done maybe half a dozen. Should I do more? Okay. I'm going to start asking questions here too. And I want answers. I want answers. Okay, moving on. We've done 5 questions. We are now at Ben56K. There's a name. Ben56K says, if you were a new photographer with no resume or strong portfolio, how would you approach 2 celebrities if you want to photograph? What would you do to bring 1 foot in the door and make yourself interesting for them? What concept would you create? I feel like, this is probably translated from a different language. Maybe Ben is speaks Spanish or Italian or something. If you're a new photographer with no resume or strong portfolio, look, it's going to be hard to approach anyone if you don't have a resume or a strong portfolio. So if you're a new photographer and you want to shoot celebrities and you want to shoot people, then work on that portfolio. How do you do that? You shoot the people you have access to, which are family members and friends. And way back when I wanted to start doing portraits of people, I would shoot my family members and friends. And I live in Los Angeles. I actually don't I know a few famous people, but like I'm not in, I'm not like in the circle of shooting celebrities or anything. I don't, I mean, I kind of know a couple people who are a little bit famous, but I don't know a lot of celebrities. Yeah, sorry. You just want to shoot those people? Yeah, good luck. You better get a portfolio first. So why don't we just start with square one there, Ben 56K. Work on that portfolio. Shoot your friends. Shoot that cool looking dude with all the tattoos down at the coffee shop that you go like twice a week. Just be like, hey, handsome dude with the dreadlocks and the big heavy gauge earrings and the tattoos. Can I take you over by that cool window light and just get a nice portrait of you? And he'll be like, yeah, bro. And here's a free latte. So just do that. And then do that whenever you see somebody cool, be a cool dude too. And just be like, hey, can I take your picture? Got to have your camera with you. So number one, always carry the camera. Number two, don't be shy. Don't be a dick. Don't be a creep. And start taking portraits of people. And you're going to learn and they're going to get better and better. And then down the road, maybe someone will actually want to hire you to take their picture. And then if you keep doing it long enough, maybe somebody famous will actually want you to take their picture. That would be cool. But first of all, you got to just start taking pictures, which means you got to build some kind of portfolio. Right? Here's my question. Did I answer that question well? I think I did. I mean, I don't know what else to say. There's no easy way. It's not like I could make a video, here's how you shoot celebrities. No. I wish I shot more celebrities. I like shooting famous people. I like doing portraits. I think I'm okay at doing portraits. I feel pretty comfortable with it. I don't have celebrities beating down my door for me to take their picture. There might be a couple things coming up though. Did I cover that question? Good? Okay, moving on. Eddie Carrasco Jr., any other artists you'd like to take portraits of? The Seal video was awesome. Oh, thanks, Eddie. Yeah. I would love to be on the cool list of doing celebrity portraits. You know who I want to photograph? And I actually kind of want to do a documentary about him. I had a meeting the other day and I brought this up exactly. I want to photograph Willie Nelson. What a freaking awesome face he has. Willie Nelson. And he's getting up there in years, man. And a day is going to come pretty, not too long in the future when there's no more Willie Nelson. I would love to photograph Willie Nelson. Who else? I've always wanted to photograph Tilda Swinton. I think she's so interesting and unique looking. So those are my two picks right now. We got a man and a woman. I want to photograph Willie Nelson. Please, universe, make that happen. I think if I bent my style into a Willie Nelson portrait, it'd be pretty freaking sweet. And Tilda Swinton, yeah, I just want to photograph her because she is one of the best actresses, definitely of her generation, working right now. She's very interesting looking, and she seems like a pretty cool person too. She seems pretty dope. Yeah, so there's a couple artists. Thanks, Eddie. Good question. Who do you think I should photograph? That's my question for you guys. Put it in the comments. Who would you like to see me photograph? Let's see if we can manifest something. Who should Ben Staley photograph in 2023? Help me out. How's the audio? Okay, are we here? We have good sound? Okay. Breathe Strong Cycling says, how's your Vero experience been so far? I like it, but I don't think it's the Instagram killer that some claim it to be. Doop, social media. Beep, 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 beep. How is my Vero experience so far? I have had a Vero account since probably 2016. It's nothing new to me. I've mentioned it a long time ago on the freaking channel. I'm just not as internet famous as some people that shown a lot of light on Vero recently, but I've been there since the very early days, and I know the whole team behind it, like all the people, and yeah, they're awesome. I like Vero. Instagram killer. I mean, do you need to kill Instagram? If you don't like it or you think it needs to be dead, then just don't freaking use it. Instagram's kind of a big dumpster fire in my opinion. I mean, I still use it quite a bit, but it's not as cool as it used to be for sure. Is Vero a replacement for it? I mean, maybe. What are you looking for? That's the real question. What do you want? Why? We're coming back to this, by the way. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you on your phone looking at pictures? Why are you looking at other people's accounts? Why do you have one? What's your freaking intention? That's what I want to know. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? So is it an Instagram killer? I don't know. It's different. I have made a lot of friends that I have in real life because I met them on Instagram. Friends that I don't even really talk to on Instagram now. I just call them. I don't even text, I call. I don't say a lot of friends, but I got a couple pretty good friends that I just met on Instagram. I've got some pretty good, like I know some really cool people I met on Vero too. It's just different, man. Sometimes you want to go have some Mexican food. Sometimes you want to go have some Italian food. They're different. They have a different vibe. I don't know. If you like it, use it. Doesn't have to be a killer. Doesn't have to destroy. It doesn't have to end. Someday Instagram will end. Someday Vero will end. Or they'll change and they'll be different. And you'll like them or you won't. And you'll use them or you won't. That's my answer. Thanks for the question. Brian Woods says, do you use ND filters for any of your still photography? I certainly have, yeah. When would you use ND filters for your still photography? I've used them when I was trying to do like a long exposure shot, maybe it's twilight, and I've used them trying to get like car streaks of headlights going by. And you might go down to an f/16 but there's still too much light. You can't really get a proper exposure of like several seconds. So you need an ND filter. The other time you might need an ND filter is if you're using a strobe and you want to shoot wide open, but your camera only allows you to maybe shoot at a 1/50th or a 1/80th or a 2/50th. You can't really go, you don't have high speed sync with your flash, so you can't use a really fast shutter speed. So maybe one way to actually still have a narrow aperture, a small aperture, thus giving you a narrow depth of field for that kind of look, well, you need an ND filter to cut the light. You tracking me? So yeah, I do. I don't use them very often, but I might. I'm trying to use my the M11 here for trying to do some more strobe stuff, and it doesn't have high speed sync, so have to sync the flash at a 1/80th or a 1/80th of a second, and so it's hard to be wide open and shoot at a 1/80th. Kevin Beecham, are you going to do any collaboration videos? Best wishes. Best wishes to you, Kevin Beecham. Sorry. Screwed up your name and you were so kind to leave me a question. Are you going to do any collaboration videos? I have no plans, and I don't really know anybody else that does like around me that does like YouTube videos. I'm not like a cool YouTuber guy. I'm just kind of over here in my own little corner doing my own thing. If I was going to collaborate, you know what? I would like to collaborate with Paul C. Smith. Because he's become kind of a bro, sort of like we message back and forth, and he's shouted out. He's given me a shout out on his channel, and plus I think his channel is super rad, and he's one of the guys that like I thought, well, man, that guy's like cool and authentic, and he just does things his own way. Maybe I could do things my own way and not just be one of these kind of like obnoxious YouTuber guys, which I kind of feel like sometimes I am. Like probably in this video, I'm kind of being obnoxious. I'm a little bit embarrassed. But if I was to collaborate, I would collaborate with Paul C. Smith because that would be fun. Can you imagine a Ben and Paul adventure? That would be epic. The trouble is, Paul's in New Zealand, so he's on the other side of the planet. So it's not happening anytime soon, I'll tell you that. But, you never know. Crazy things can happen. Maybe it'll happen someday. Maybe we'll just sit down, we'll get drunk, and we'll leave the camera rolling. That'd be pretty cool too. Jeff Powers, do you plan on or do you already have a website for purchase of your images? I don't really. There's like a little print to order service linked at the bottom of all my videos where there's some images there that you can order if you want. I can't even remember the name of it. I haven't put anything new up there in a while. I sell images on there occasionally. People will buy a little print. They're nothing fancy, but they're what you get for, I don't know how much they are, 50 or 70 bucks or something. They're not terribly expensive. They're pretty affordable. I do plan on and have planned on for some time. My website is powered by Squarespace, not a sponsor. I'm not that cool. My website is powered by Squarespace. And so I moved over to Squarespace with the intention of eventually having a store and selling prints and maybe creating a zine yearly or bi-yearly and selling those as well. That's coming in the future. I had the great pleasure of earlier this week and part of last week. It took 3 days over the course of about a week. I got together with my good buddy Milo DeCruz, who is my favorite photographer, I think. He's a real master. Shoots only film. He's got a darkroom at his house. I went over there and he walked me through printing a couple images, one of his, one of mine, silver gelatin prints, and I don't know. It might have destroyed me a little bit. I'm ashamed of myself. I need to print more. I need to print more digitally. I need to print more analog. I need to be seeing my images physically realized more, right? Do you agree? Yes. We all should be doing that. I'm having this sort of like midlife crisis of my artistic self right now. And so I'm realizing I need to start doing things a little differently. I want to. I want to grow. I want to change. I want to improve. Yes. In the future, hopefully not too far in the future, you can buy some stuff from me. I'd like that. That's one of the reasons I started a YouTube channel, to be full disclosure, so I could sell people stuff. Why not? Right to the consumer, baby. Cut out the middleman. I appreciate you, Jeff Powers, for that question. Romson Visuals. What's your favorite picture of this year and why? Oh, I saw this one come in and dude, I don't know. I don't know what my favorite picture of last week is. That's easier to nail down, but narrow down. But my favorite picture of the year, I took some bangers this year that I'm stoked about. I don't know what my favorite is, but I thought about this. I'm going to put this one up on the screen. This is one of my favorite pictures of the year. And this is out on the island of Tobago, where I did this job for 7 weeks. Made a couple videos out there. You saw them. They were on the channel. They're on the channel. When you look back in time, they're there. Also, I went around and I shot a whole series of images of fishermen on my days off and stuff. And this is one of my very favorite images. Maybe I'll talk about it a little bit more in the future. Thanks for the question. Hey, I got a question for y'all. What's been your favorite video of mine over the last year? Only the last year. 2022. Name me your favorite video. Don't look at what everybody else put down. I want to know what your favorite video was. Thank you. Amir, oh, this is a name. I'm going to fuck this one up. Amir Marskandari. Amir Marskandari. Biggest missed opportunity in terms of photography and film making in 2022. What would you do differently this year in terms of work if you could do it over again? What was the highlight of your year for you in terms of photography, film, content, and life? Boy, that's a big question too, and I should have thought more about this, Amir. Great question, man. Way to put the screws to me. Professionally, doing that shoot for Leica and Seal was a big moment for me. That, shooting that campaign and that whole thing. It's just really cool to do a job for a camera company that you admire. So that was a big moment, and I'm proud of the work. I'm actually really stoked about the images I made, and I was sort of asked by Leica and by Seal to a degree to make a director's cut video. They had the video they put out for their camera and for their campaign. I didn't have anything to do with that. I shot the Seal portion of it. They sort of asked me on the side to make a director's cut, and I did, and no one has seen it. I don't think Leica's putting it out. I don't think Seal's going to put it out. I might put that out at some point. I really like it. It's weird. But you guys know me. Hey, if you tell me I can do what I want to do, it's going to be weird. Great question, Amir. What was the biggest missed opportunity? I had some fantastic opportunities in 2022. It wasn't always easy, and it wasn't always gangbusters. I started the year off with COVID in Alaska. I went to Alaska to shoot Deadliest Catch, and I promptly got COVID and spent the first week and a half in a hotel room alone. That sucked. I was really sick. And then after that, I went to work and came back, and I worked on a feature film for an Oscar-winning director. That's going to be coming out in I don't know, next year sometime, spring probably. Missed opportunities, though. I don't know what I missed out. I wish I'd have written more, and I'm writing now, and I'm wishing that I had buckled down and written more in my screenplay, but that's coming. I'm getting there. I'm whittling away at it. Writing is so hard for me. Yeah, that Leica Seal shoot was probably my biggest highlight. I had some other pretty good highlights, but that's probably the biggest one. I don't know if I don't have on my radar a missed opportunity. Sorry, Amir. But that's a good thing to keep in mind. What could I have improved at? I need to be a better writer. I need to focus more. I need to stay off my phone more, like all of us. I need to stay off the fucking phone, and I need to write more. Tor Berg. Okay, Tor, I messaged Tor back and asked him to actually restate this question because it doesn't make a lot. It's just a tough question. And I like Tor. Tor is a longtime viewer. Tor, respect, bro. I really like you. Thank you for always showing up, Tor. I appreciate you guys that show up all the time, and I see your names over and over commenting and hanging out. And it's freaking awesome. Makes me happy. I like, oh yeah, that guy's been around a while. Tor says, love your portrait sessions in your outdoor studio. More of that, question mark. Also, recent documentaries you made me scream for more. Maybe something about how you plan a shoot, how you connect approach towards your models, and perhaps make some stories together with or about other amazing artist photographers. Okay, that's what you want to see. That doesn't sound like a question. That's kind of what you want to see out of me, Tor. Okay, cool. I've had a couple shoots in my studio. I don't know if they're. I filmed some stuff. I had a pretty cool shoot in a studio downtown LA, and I shot that. But I don't know if those are really going to be videos. You might see some of that footage here and there, in some shorts, part of other videos. I don't know. How do I plan a shoot? How do I connect and approach models? You know, we connect and approach each other. I'm pretty casual about this stuff if it's not a real job. I like to keep things pretty open and loosey-goosey and like, hey, here's kind of what I do. You want to do that? Okay, do you want to shoot outside or do you want to shoot at my studio? Or do you have a place you want to shoot? You know, if someone approaches me, yeah, so it's kind of like that. Look, if it's not work, I'm very casual about it. If it is work, I am really anal and I want to know all the details, and I pre-plan and I have everything wired. But that's kind of a longer topic. I do prepare a lot for my work, though. Thanks, Tor. MVZ Martinez. Mr. Martinez. Hi, greetings from Mexico. I saw your videos and got inspired to shoot with a 28mm. I don't have a Q2, but I want to ask if you shoot high speed in your studio in order to obtain such contrast. I like the Q2 because I can use it high speed sync with a flash. I can sync a flash up to a thousandth of a second, which is pretty fast. I am often shooting with a really fast shutter because I like to shoot wide open at 1.7, and so that's letting in a lot of light, and I need to use a fast shutter most times. That's not really why the images are contrasty, though. I get contrasty images because of how I use the light or where I position the subject. Or, you know, I like images with a lot of contrast, and I like really bright spots and I like really dark spots. And so I'm composing my images that way, and I'm controlling the light that way. Or I'm framing up a shot with a person in it so that there is a decent amount of contrast. I wouldn't say, Mr. Martinez, that that's really a function of the high speed. Hopefully that answered your question, and I appreciate you, sir. Greg V8. I don't like V8 juice. I mean, that's probably not what you're referencing, Greg, but yeah. Tomato juice? No gracias. Don't really like Bloody Marys. No. Do you print your pictures to hang in the wall? Can you talk about your selection process? How do you work through picking out the right ones, and how long does one stay on the wall? I've only got less than half a dozen of my images on the wall throughout the house. There's like a couple downstairs, some film images. Picture my daughter. Hey, check this out. Look, okay. Let's see if I can do this without screwing it up. Look at that. Hey, there's one of my images on the wall. Let's see if I can get this framed right how it was. There we go. That is a picture of my wife, Danny, in the studio, my studio. Took that about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago or something. I happen to really like that image. That's in the wall of my office because I like it. It's printed out on canvas. Kind of fancy. Okay, last question from Fairfax Joe. Fairfax Joe, is that like Fairfax Street in Los Angeles? Home of Cantor's Deli. Ever been there, guys? Pretty cool place. Cantor's on Fairfax. Check it out. Jewish deli. What is your objective with your YouTube channel? You are so talented and creative, but I'm curious if you believe that the time you spend in this channel is worth it for you. Of course, I want you to keep creating for us, but damn, you could be doing so much more, like a short film. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Fairfax Joe, thanks for the kind words.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, final thoughts. That's the final question. I have actually been thinking about making a video entitled Why are you doing this? Thinking about myself, thinking about you. Why are you doing this? Yeah, you're not wrong, Joe. I could be doing a lot more with my time, and making these videos takes a lot of time. Time I'm not going to get back. Do I think it's valuable? Okay, here's why I do it. I enjoy it. And I can do any freaking thing I want. I can make them as goofy and as weird as I want. I can make them as rough and as unpolished. A lot of times these videos are not, to my mind, super polished. I kind of just slap them together. I don't think too hard about the music. I don't think too hard about the effects or the whatever. I just kind of will boom, boom, let's make something, let's do it, let's put it out there, let's see what people think. And I enjoy the process of just making something like that. Does it take away from other things that I could be doing? Oh yeah, it does actually. So I'm glad if you like them. Why am I doing it? I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I get a lot of pleasure out of just making it. It is nice to find an audience. I am, full disclosure, eventually when I get around to it, I'm going to start offering some things for sale, and I'm going to start finding a way to connect with some of you folks a little more. I began to see a few years ago, that like engagement and connection on some other social platforms was beginning to wane, and I kind of thought that maybe this would be a place to do it. And since I do video for a living and I'm pretty quick at editing, and I just thought, maybe I can do things my way and it'll be fun, and then eventually I can get people involved. I can meet some new people. Maybe I can sell some things. Maybe have an audience to sell some zines or some prints and things like that. Maybe do some tutorials. Maybe do some behind the scenes of some video projects. You could be doing so much more, like a short film. I'm actually making a short film in January, so glad you brought that up, Fairfax Joe. I'm going to fly to Alaska on December 26th, the day after Christmas. I'm going to do a job for a couple weeks. Then I'm going to stay in Alaska for another, 4 or 5 days, a week, whatever, and I'm going to make a short film that I've written. And it's a prequel to the feature film that I'm writing. And I'm pretty freaking excited. Got a couple actors on board, starting to get the details in place. Going to be working on that for the rest of the year until I leave. Are you going to see that on the YouTube channel? Probably not. Maybe it'll be in film festivals. Maybe it'll suck and nobody will ever see it. I don't know, but I'm going to go make a film. How was the Q&A? Give me some feedback. What do you think? I feel like it's kind of getting dark out. Like I feel like I'm using this window light, just natural window light, and I'm looking at the camera here and it's a little darker than it was. Let's open up the stop here. That's maybe a little better. Yeah, boy, it's gonna rain here pretty soon. Southern California doesn't rain that often. We need it. Squirrel tangent. I hope you enjoyed the Q&A. Thanks if you stayed all the way to the end. Thanks everybody that sent me some pictures. And look, the year's almost over. I'm gonna try and have 1 or 2 more videos before the end of the year, and some stuff kind of on deck for next year when I'm away for a little bit working, which I thankfully have a job right away at the end of this year, the beginning of next year. I'm a freelance filmmaker, photographer, so anytime that something is scheduled and waiting for me, that's a blessing and I'm grateful. But yeah, I'm going to keep making these goofy ass little YouTube videos. What's your favorite video of this year? What do you want to see more of? And now's your chance. If you stayed to the end, give me your feedback, please. Good job, or that was awesome. It's always nice to hear, but it doesn't really help me. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like. Tell me what you want to see more of. More importantly, get out there and make something for yourself, on your own, by yourself, for you. Go make something. Don't copy somebody else's thing. Make your thing. Get out there. Make a short film. Take some pictures. Go have an adventure. Find some old road that you've never been down and go down it. Take your camera. That's all I got. I think this has been long enough. We'll see you soon, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out.